Hello everyone, welcome back. Hope your week is off to a lovely start. I know mine sure is, especially with this week's developer diary on climate and seasons. I know I say this every week, but I have been very excited for this week's dev diary. As a big fan of snow personally, and having grown up in a snowy area as a kid, and now living somewhere where it never snows, I actually miss the snow a lot. So I'm really excited about this dev diary and just the entire concept of Cities 2 having not just snow on the ground like in the Snowfall DLC, but actual functioning seasons. So without further ado,
Tony, hand me my boots because I'm about to go skiing.
let's get into the major takeaways from this week's diary. Obviously, winter is coming, but it will be different depending on the map you choose. At release, there will be 3 distinct climates, which in map terminology and lingo is essentially what replaces the themes concept in Cities 1, of like tropical, boreal, temperate, etc. And also, conversely with Cities 1, these have more profound and lasting effects, not just visual, and not just the kind of trees that you'll see. So there are 3 climates: temperate, continental, and polar. At least these are the 3 that come at release. While each of these climates will feature 4 distinct seasons, they will look a little different in each. For example, a map with a temperate climate will have moderate precipitation and wide temperature ranges. The continental maps will have significant differences in temperatures throughout the year, and predictably, the polar maps will feature short and colder summers with longer lasting, bitter cold winters. And what's fun, and adding to the ever-increasing realism of Cities 2, is that these climates are determined based on the latitudes and longitudes of the maps you choose. And while it obviously doesn't get into it in this dev diary, nor do I suspect will we hear about it anytime soon, my guess is this opens up the door for various DLCs regarding different climates and or regions of the world to either add entirely new climate options, like tropical, which is noticeably missing, or different configurations of how these climates present in-game through maps at different latitudes and longitudes, or even hemispheres. Let me know what you would think about that. Do you think we'll get DLCs relating to specific climates or regions? Maybe in the form of DLCs a la financial districts or hotels and retreats? If so, what kind of climates or regions are you looking forward to the most? I'm getting my most highly anticipated one in the base game with snow, but I would love to see a tropical climate in the game where winters are warmer and maybe even devoid of snow altogether. Now, one of my first questions when thinking of seasons coming to Cities 2 was exactly how that mechanic would work as far as how long the seasons are, and luckily that information is made much more clear in Cities Skylines 2. So each in-game day to night cycle is 1 month. So from sunrise to sunset, that's 1 month. And each season is 3 months, or 3 in-game day-night cycles, which naturally means that 1 in-game year is 12 day-to-night cycles. And it has also been spelled out in the diary that 1 day-to-night cycle played at regular speed is about an hour in real time. And just like in Cities 1, you'll have 3 speeds. If you play at normal speed, you'll probably get the most out of this seasonality. And as I'm recording this, I'm thinking this is a bit on the shorter side for my liking, but I do wonder first just how exactly it will actually feel when playing, since it's a little hard to imagine properly without actually getting your hands on it. And I also wonder whether there will ever be mods to let us have even further control over that aspect of things. Curious to know your thoughts on that as well. Along with seasons comes seasonal disasters, which may be either very exciting to you or very, very disappointing. I personally fall somewhere in the middle with the disasters. I don't typically use them much in my own cities, and I can certainly understand why many others don't like them either. There's nothing more annoying than spending painstaking hours designing and building your perfect city only to have it destroyed by a tornado. But luckily you can turn that option off just as you could in Cities 1. So if disasters are not your jam, you have nothing to worry about. You can turn them off and forget all about them. Coming with the base game are 3 different disasters: forest fires, hailstorms, and tornadoes, each one affecting your city in different ways and to different levels of severity. The most devastating disaster is confirmed to be tornadoes, at least in terms of how they can affect your cities. And whether that's true or reflective of real life is debatable, but that is how it works in the game as of right now. Just as with climates, I assume greater variety of these disasters will be added in the form of DLCs. I'm trying not to think too much on how much opportunity for DLCs is already presenting itself since the game isn't even out yet, because if I can already think of ways to make these into several different paid DLCs, I can imagine the developers can as well, and will no doubt want to take full advantage of that. I'm personally a fan of larger, more robust expansions myself, but I've really enjoyed some of the smaller add-ons in Cities 1 as well, so I don't know. What do you think? Do you think we'll have more smaller, sort of micro or mini DLCs in Cities 2 compared to Cities 1? Or will we have like fully fleshed out huge expansion packs? Either way, that's a debate for a different day, though I'm curious to know your thoughts on it down below in the comments. While all of these things are exciting, having the dynamic weather and disasters, they also pose their own individual and unique challenges to your city in ways that feel a lot more fleshed out than in Cities 1. So let's talk first about how the climate and weather will affect your city. Naturally, your cities will look different. Either they'll be cloudy and rainy, or snow will blanket your city. But that's not new. What is new is that the weather will affect how your citizens choose to spend their time. This was mentioned briefly in some of the earlier dev diaries, but your citizens will spend their time differently depending on the weather. For example, if it's rainy or snowy, they'll choose to visit indoor attractions in your cities, like movie theaters or restaurants. And if the weather is nice, they'll want to enjoy your city's various parks and outdoor attractions. And if they are staying indoors, this will also affect your city services. With more people indoors during rainy or snowy weather, there will be an increase in utility usage, putting pressure on your electrical grid. This will pose new challenges on how to adequately prepare your city for fluctuations in utility usage during different times of the year. Then, of course, there's the issue of traffic accidents. Unsurprisingly, during winter or rainy weather, the likelihood of traffic accidents increases. This can potentially put a strain not only on your road maintenance department, but your other services as well. As citizens can be injured or killed in traffic accidents, this can also lead to an increase in need for services such as healthcare and death care. So it's worth paying attention to the weather in your city and maybe pumping up the budget on road maintenance during inclement weather. Natural disasters too pose their own challenges. Just as with the weather, natural disasters can cause traffic backups. A tornado can destroy roads, leading to the backups. And I think it probably goes without saying, but these disasters can also put a lot of pressure on healthcare, death care, fire and police services. But all of this can be avoided, not just by turning them off. But much like in Cities 1, to avoid disaster from forest fires, for example, you can place a watchtower so you get an early warning of a forest fire breaking out, and you can build a firefighting helicopter depot to help extinguish those fires before they reach your road network. If you're not prepared, a forest fire could easily destroy whole neighborhoods of your city. Hailstorms too can cause lots of problems. The hail itself can directly damage the buildings your citizens reside in or visit, and repairing them takes time and money. Money that could ideally otherwise be spent improving the building and helping it level up. So these disasters can have a direct impact on how quickly your city grows and how quickly your buildings level up to their highest level. Again, tornadoes are the most devastating disaster that your city can encounter. It can destroy buildings and roads entirely, and unlike with hailstorms, your citizens can't just hide indoors to avoid them. Your city will need disaster shelters to survive a severe tornado, as well as detection systems in place to alert those citizens when it's time to evacuate. All in all, though, most of this will feel very familiar. A lot of the same mechanics are in place, but as with pretty much everything else so far in Cities 2, it all just feels a bit more real and a ton more fleshed out. Cities 2 seems to be shaping up into quite a realistic city building game, and I, for one, cannot wait. Let me know in the comments below what you're most looking forward to. Will you be turning on disasters in your cities? I think I'm at least going to try them out a little bit. Will I probably have them in all of my cities? No, but I'm going to have to give them a look. And what climate are you looking to try out first? I know I definitely want probably a polar climate. I think that's what I'm going to go with first. Let me know what you're going to do. As always, I hope you've enjoyed the video, and if you have, I hope you'll consider leaving a like below and subscribing to the channel for more videos like this one. There will certainly be another one next week on Dev Diary number 9, Economy and Production. Thank you so much for watching, and I hope you have a wonderful rest of your day.